Welcome to the Spirituality Deep Dive organized by North America Institute of Vihangam Yoga. This spiritual session is inspired and guided by the wisdom of Swarved composed by Brahmarishi Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. Before we take a deep dive into spirituality, let us all settle down with our body, mind, and soul. First, let's try to stabilize our body. Can we make our body still? Whichever pose you are in, either sitting on the chair, or on the ground, or wherever you are. Just try to bring your body into complete stillness. You're observing your breath. You feel your breath, how it goes in and out. We are going to make 10 iterations of Om chanting. Let's all take the deep breath in. Second one. Third one. One. Sixth one. Seventh one. Eighth one. ninth. And 10th. In the last session, we understood different types of karma. We learned about the Kriyaman karma, the Sanchit karma, and the Prarabdha karma. All these three, whether it is Kriyaman, Sanchit, or Prarabdha, could be of two categories: Shubh and Ashubh, good and bad. Whether you do good karma or bad karma, they may take three different shapes. Either it can give you the fruits in the same life, and so that is called Kriyaman karma, which drives your current life, or it will get stored, good or bad. If it does not give you fruit in the same life, it gets stored in the chitta and it is carried forward to the next life. That is called Sanchit karma, the accumulated karma. And then out of these accumulated karma, a subset of that takes the shape of prarabdha karma, which decides the next life. So the cycle of life and death is governed by the Sanchit karma, because the Sanchit karma is the one that gives the birth to the Prarabdha karma, and the Prarabdha karma is what decides our next life. Now, there are three levels at which these karmas are performed. There are three different stages of karma. All these karma that we discuss, whether it is Kriyaman karma or the Sanchit karma or the Prarabdha karma, they are ordinary karma. In fact, there are two kinds of karma. One is ordinary karma. The ordinary karma is the karma that we do in our day-to-day life, which connects us to the worldly subjects, which connects us to the worldly activities, in which we flow our concentration, our consciousness towards the outer subject. So when we are engaging ourselves to the outer subject, where our consciousness is flowing outward, that is one level of karma, one stage of karma. And that level of karma is what could be a Kriyaman karma, or it could be a Sanchit karma, or it could get the shape of Prarabdha karma for the future life. Similarly, there is another stage of karma called Vikarma. in Vikarm, you put an effort for collecting your consciousness. So all your effort in which you put an effort to reverse the flow of consciousness from outward to inward. All the preparation for going inward instead of going outward. Instead of connecting to the outer subject, when you prepare and put an effort towards going inward in your journey, all those effort is called Vikarm. So Vikarm also could be Kriyaman karma. Vikarma also can take shape of Sanchit karma, and Vikarma can also take shape of Prarabdha. But Vikarma is something that prepares you to break free from the bondage of karma. Because the very foundation of karma is that our consciousness is captured by the mind, and mind is engaging our bodies into action. So when this very flow of consciousness happens, where the mind is capturing our consciousness, and through the or by the mind and the body, we are performing actions and engaging in the outer subjects. In this very effort of karma, we are creating the bondages. We are strengthening the bondages of life and death. But when you break this very foundation itself, how do you break? Instead of letting mind capture your consciousness and let it flow to the outer subject, if you reverse this, so you start collecting your consciousness from outer world, and then slowly go inward, and then learn the art of even dissociating from the mind. This very inward journey is what is creating the foundation for breaking free from the cycle of life and death. When the very base of karma, which is mind and indriyas, when you prepare to dissociate from them, then of course over a period of time, when you attain that isolation from the body, from the indriyas, from the mind, then you are breaking free from performing the bondages of karma. You're not creating the bondages of karma when you are free from this very foundation of karma. What is the foundation of karma? The foundation of karma is that the soul alone cannot perform karma. Only when the soul is tied up to the body and indriyas, it is only then it performs karma. So when you prepare yourself to elevate your consciousness beyond your body, that is when you break free from creating the bondage of karma. So what stage do you attain through vikarma? Through vikarma, you attain the stage of akarma, meaning now you are elevated beyond your body and indriyas. You are in a state of samadhi in which you are in union with the supreme consciousness. You are living in the body, but now the mind is not in charge of the body and the soul, but the soul is in charge of the body and the mind. Now mind is not the owner, but the soul is the owner of the body and mind. Now the soul is free from the enslavement of the mind. So in the state of akarma, The soul is in union with Almighty. And in union with Almighty, it does not do karma, but all the effort that it takes to bring change in the external world, those changes are for the other living beings. But the very doer, the soul, does not have any impact of those karma. It is like this: when a pot which is filling with water, when it has space, then the tap, the water which is flowing from the tap, it is affecting the pot because pot is getting filled. But once it is filled up, then all the water that flows in that pot, it does not impact the pot because the pot is already full. So all the water that goes in that pot is now to pass on, pass on that water to the external world, not for the self. It has nothing to do for it, but all it does, it pass on those water to others who are not capable for those, you know, set of karma. So that very state of union with Almighty, the soul is in Jivan Mukta state, and all the karma that the soul performs, it is not the karma for the soul, but it is the effort that brings change to the outer world, not for the self. So the soul is free from the cycle of life and death. The soul is free from karma when it attains the union with Almighty. So the path that takes the soul from bondage of karma to the freedom from karma is nothing but vikarma. So vikarma is the bridge between karma and akarma. Right now, we are in a state of ignorance. We are in the stage of karma. So all the effort that we are making is something that is going to cause the cycle of life and death. But in this very state of ignorance, in the state of bondage, we can also build up vikarma. So you can slowly prepare for separation from the body and mind. We can slowly prepare for the liberation. So all the effort that we make in the preparation for liberation is what is called vikarma. So vikarma is a special set of karma. What do we do in that? In vikarma, what do we do? So let us slowly dive a little deeper into all these three. So the ordinary karma is a stage in which there is an outward flow of consciousness. Even all the righteous duties that we are doing towards our family, towards our society, at the workplace, even though we do rightfully, but they still fall under ordinary karma. If we do good to the society, then we will reap good fruits out of it, but will still be born to the cycle of life and death. So that ordinary karma include all righteous duties. Righteousness ensures not only the betterment of current life, but there is one advantage. By performing all the righteous duties, slowly we prepare ourselves for vikarma. So in ordinary karma also, we should strive for the righteous way of doing those karma. Whether you are at the workplace or you're doing some duties for your family, for your society, we should not take any sinful way of performing those actions. We should rather be righteous, moral, considerate, kindful, in performing actions. righteous way of doing that. Only when you rightfully do those regular activities, slowly our heart matures, our soul matures, and we start recognizing the need of growing in the spiritual world. So the transformation happens, and our inclination towards the spiritual growth increases. So righteousness ensures not only the betterment of the current life, but it also leads to the stage of vikarma. But what is vikarma? Vikarma is a very special set of karma. All human efforts of spiritual purification of mind, spiritual purification of soul is what is vikarma. Vikarma is what makes the flow of consciousness turn inward. So efforts that separate the soul from triguna of prakriti, meaning you slowly develop a state in which nothing from the world will touch you. Whether you get the abundance of luxury or you get the challenges of mountain size, but you are untouched. When you attain that isolation, you know, for in order to attaining that isolation from the outer world, what you need to do is to connect to the inner world. So the effort that makes that isolation a possibility is what is called vikarma. So, so the efforts that activate the inward flow of consciousness is called vikarma. So what are those efforts? Our Svarved says that, by being in the holy feet of Sadguru and obeying his principles, when we start leading our life in order to rise in the spiritual journey by engaging with seva, by engaging with sadhana, meditation practice, by engaging in satsang, by getting darshan of Sadguru, all these effort that we are making, it is preparing our spiritual journey to go more smooth, become more smooth, more accelerated. We are preparing our spiritual foundation stronger by changing our daily routine and imbibing the practices of seva, sadhana, satsang, Sadguru darshan, preaching, sharing these wisdom to others. All this effort is basically preparing our inclination towards spirituality more stronger. It is making our inclination more stronger towards spirituality. So all these karma, the effort that assist us in grow in spiritual journey is what is called vikarma. So Sadgurudev says, Brahma Vidya ke yogya jo, adhikari gurujan, kshetra sahayak karma jo, so vikarma par gyan. So all those efforts which make you eligible for growth in the spiritual journey is what is called vikarma. So we must spend maximum amount of time in Vikarm. More you spend time in Vikarm, more fruitfully you are using the breath of this human life. So satsang, surrendering to Sadguru, seva, obeying Sadguru's guidance, commandment, all these are Vikarm. These are the act in which when you spend your breath in, you slowly develop the ability to turn your consciousness inward. When you're engaged in Vikarm, then your meditation will slowly start giving you fruits of inward journey. Right now, even though we sit in meditation, our consciousness continues to be engaged with the outer subject. How? Through the mind. Even though we sit in meditation, our consciousness is not flowing inside. We are sitting in meditation in order to achieve that inward flow of consciousness. But is it happening? It is not happening. But we are putting an effort for that. Even though our inward journey of consciousness is not happening, even though our mind constantly connects us to the outer subject by bringing different thoughts while we are trying to meditate, but yet we are putting an effort to turn our consciousness inward. So this effort of meditation, where we are honestly trying to stabilize our mind, we're trying, we are we are we are honestly trying to hold our mind at one point. If you are honest about this effort, then this is weaker. There'll be a day when, along with seva, satsang, devotion for Sadguru, obeying Sadguru's guidance for any kind of seva, when we bring that equation between Sadguru and you, where Sadguru start considering you as his own child, when you surrender to that level, that Sadguru gets the confidence on you that now this child has totally surrendered to me. Then you will see that the Sadguru will also start unfolding his secrets. Then the same meditation, where honestly you were trying to hold your mind at one point, but you were still not feeling any change in your spiritual experience. But suddenly things will start changing. Suddenly Sadguru's power will start working in your meditation itself. You will feel that your consciousness has started being drawn inward, as if some force has started working, as if the iron which was lost in the other metal pieces, suddenly the magnet came in the surrounding and it pulled the iron pieces apart from the other metal garbage. There were other garbage of metals around it, but automatically the iron was isolated from them. Why? Because the magnet came in its surrounding. Similarly, in this mud of Maya, in this mud of subject, what magnet do you require? You require the magnet of Sadguru. When the Sadguru energy will start working with you, you will feel that you have been isolated from this mud, as if some force has started lifting you. You're sitting in meditation and you'll feel that force pulling you inside. सिर प्राण चेतन हृदय खींचे भाव शुभ लक्षण में महापथ सुषमन कुले गति कंप दोनों तन हिले. So the force, the Sadguru force will be felt at your head getting pulled upward, your heart getting pulled upward, your breath getting pulled upward, your consciousness getting pulled upward. When you sit in meditation, you will feel that force at all different levels. And you will literally know that some force is working with me. When you attain this very relation with the Guru, that day you will recognize who the Sadguru is and what the Sadguru is. And for that, we need to engage ourselves in Vikarma. We need to keep giving our time in satsang, in seva, and keep developing devotion, the love for Sadguru. Only through the path of love, through the path of surrender, Sadguru will finally adopt you. And when he adopts, then everything changes in our journey. So for that, the Vikarm is the link which will connect you with Sadguru. Vikarm is what we must spend our maximum breath in. So satsang, developing devotion for Sadguru, seva, obeying Sadguru's commandment. These are all one or the other form of Vikarm. What is Akarm? So through the Vikarm, you progress from Vihangam Yoga stage 1 to stage 5. This entire journey of meditation is under the effort of Vikarm. Everything that we do in the spiritual world is called Vikarm. But what is Akarm? Akarm is when you are already liberated. When you have already attained the liberation, but you are living in the body. You are living liberated being. While living in the body, you are already liberated. You are already united with Almighty. You are experiencing Almighty in and out. And in that state of union, you continue to live in the body as well. You're performing some activity in this worldly life, just like the present master, Sadguru Satan Devji Maharaj is doing. Sadguru Satan Devji Maharaj is a living liberated soul. He is the Sadguru, he is the master who is already in union with Almighty, but yet all his actions are making change in this worldly life, in this all the living being living in this worldly life. Sadguru is working day in, day out, not for the self, but for his disciples, for the souls in bondages. So his effort is a karma for him. Whatever he is doing, it is not creating any bondages for him. He is not doing any karma. All his effort is bringing change in the other people's life. For him, there is nothing to gain out of his karma because he is already full. His pot is already filled. So there is nothing that he can get out of the worldly life. But yet he is performing actions in the worldly life, which is bringing change in other people's life. So the effort that he is making is not karma for him, it is akarma for him. Akarma means something which is not karma. So akarma is a state which is attained by the yogi who is already liberated. Already liberated yogi's actions is called akarma. And that is what is the state, that is what is described in Bhagavad Gita, that what is the best way of performing actions. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. The best way of performing action is to perform it in union with Almighty. Because if you perform otherwise, without attaining union with Almighty, if you perform action, that will cause you a bondage. It will drive you in the life and death. But if you perform action in union with Almighty, in that state, those karma does not touch you. It brings change, positive change in the world, but there is no impact on you. It does not cause you the cycle of life and death because you are in the stage of akarma. And that is what is the skillful way of performing action. The skillful way of performing action is to perform it in such a way that it does not cause you bondage. And that skillful way of performing action is nothing but attaining the stage of akarma, attaining the stage of yoga. And that's why Bhagavad Gita says that when you attain that skill of performing action, which where it does not bind you in bondages, that is what is the stage of yoga. So yoga karmasu kaushalam. And through Vihangam Yoga, we are progressing towards that from the stage of karma to the stage of akarma. So akarma is something that you attain through the practice of vikarma. All the 5 stages of Vihangam Yoga practice is under the category of vikarma. So it is not the ordinary karma, but all this effort is slowly building up for attaining the stage of akarma, stage of liberation. So with this, I would conclude our discussion here for today. If there is any question, we can take it from here on, and then we'll enter into the chapter of Sadguru in the next week onwards. So akarma is something that, it sets us free from bondages. All the conscious effort of Jivan Mukti Yogi is akarma. All the effort which is happening in the light of, in the energy of Supreme Almighty, because we are in the state of union with Almighty, then is all akarma. All Sanchit karma ends in the fire of Brahma Vidya when you attain the stage of akarma. When we attain the union with Almighty, what happens? All our Sanchit karma also burns away. And that's why when you attain the union with Almighty while living in the body, that is when you end all your bondage of karma. What remains is only prarabdha karma. Only prarabdha. But there is no Sanchit and there is no more kriyaman. Everything just vanishes. Now you're free from karma. You are in state of union with Almighty. And in that state, whatever actions you are doing, that is the skillful way of performing action. And that is what is called yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Is there any clarification required? Is there anything that you want to share, express? Please feel free to say now.
Vijayji, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so just one clarification. So once the person becomes a Jivan Mukta, then in that case, there is no Sanchit karma also, right?
That's great, yes. So when you attain the state of Jivan Mukta, meaning you are living in the body, but you're already liberated, then there is no Sanchit karma.
And how does that Sanchit karma get destroyed? Because like when we take birth, at that time we have Sanchit karma, we have prarabdha, and we are doing kriyaman karma. But once we become Jivan Mukta, how does that Sanchit Karma get destroyed or disappear?
Right. So at the fifth stage of Vihangam Yoga, when we practice union with Almighty, there'll be a moment when the union will start coming into effect. So prior to that, you will still be carrying all the Sanchit Karma in our Chitta. But when that union starts happening, in which the Almighty's property will start appearing in the soul. So soul and Almighty will start becoming one. In that transformation, where the soul also start taking the property of Almighty, in that transformation, all the karma from Chitta start vanishing. When the Brahma energy, when the Almighty's energy start coming in the heart, coming in the soul, when starts appearing in the soul, in that energy, in that light, all the karma, all the sanchit karma from chitta starts burning away. And that's what is explained here in Swarved. Brahma vidya chinagi udi, lagi karma ghar aag. Karma vasana jar gayi, chetan ja. So only when that very experience of Almighty starts happening in the journey of meditation, where the Almighty is now being experienced inside, outside, everywhere. What you experience is just Almighty everywhere. When we attain that union with Almighty, that is the stage where all our karma burns away by the light of Almighty.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I would actually like to add something before the end of the meeting. Um, I just like to say that I appreciate very greatly that you broke down and explained the different types of karma and everything because I mean, I don't think I questioned it too much in my head before. I just thought good karma, bad karma. But this breakdown actually shows what good karma is, how to perform it, and everything. So I just wanted to say that I really, truly appreciate you breaking it down.
Yeah, that appreciate Mr. Dave noticing this. Um, this is something that is the speciality of Swarved. Many people will talk at the surface that do good karma, do this, do that, but the very science of karma needs to be understood correctly. The reason is, you know, otherwise we'll be, groping in the darkness. We will be just groping in the darkness. We would have the right intention, but just right intention, but not the right knowledge is not sufficient. Just right intention is not sufficient. But it's something like this. I'll tell you a story that there was a guy who was devotee of Almighty, and one day there was flood around his an area, and the water level was rising up. But he thought that I am a devotee of Almighty, so Almighty will save me. He will come and save me. And different kinds of means arrived asking, if you need help, I'm here to help you. He said, no, don't worry, Almighty will come and save me. And the water level rose beyond his head and he died. In the conversation later, when he had a conversation with God, it is just a, you know, a story which seems to depict some knowledge. It's not a real story. So in that conversation, he asked Almighty, Almighty, I was your great devotee. I prayed day and night, spent my entire life offering my devotion to you. Yet you did not come and save me. You did not save me. Almighty said, who was that guy who came in the boat to take you? You did not pay attention. Who was that guy who came in helicopter offering you help? You did not listen to him. It was all sent by me. But you just kept saying Almighty will come and save me. So just the right intention is not enough. We also need to know how things work. What is consciousness? What is inertness? Can Almighty ever take the shape of a physical being, or Almighty will always remain as He is? There is no place where He is not there. He's already there. So what Almighty does is He will just activate different means for us to go towards Him. He does not have to come anywhere. He's always there. Almighty was always near to him. Almighty was not to come. Almighty was already there watching him getting, caught in the flood. So Almighty was making all these arrangements, but he did not pay attention. He did not know these signs that Almighty was already there. Almighty doesn't have to come. We have to go to the Almighty. We have to raise our consciousness from physicality to the consciousness. Then Almighty will be visible in and out. Almighty is already there. Similarly, the karma. We need to understand that just right intention is not going to liberate us, but we have to find the signs through which we can burn away all our accumulated karma. We need to know that process. Everything in this nature happens through a process. Even if you are a doctor who have studied your body well, when you start going deep inside the functions of even a single cell of the body, you will be very surprised how organized everything is in this body. If you look at the nature, if you look at the way the tree grows, everything is organized. There is a process. There is no randomness in the creation of Almighty. Similarly, there is no randomness in the spiritual journey. It is just the ignorance of the people who have created randomness in this journey. There is actually no randomness. There is a set process. And the process is very simple. If we continue to remain dependent on our body and indriyas, what we'll perceive is the creation. And only when we raise above our body, indriya, and mind and set our consciousness free from them, it is only then our consciousness will experience the other consciousness. What our body, our indriya can experience is the physicality. But what our soul can experience is the consciousness. And that is what we want to attain. We want to attain the experience of consciousness, because only in that zone exists the real bliss of devotion. The real bliss of devotion is not in visiting the physical shape of Almighty, but the real bliss of devotion is in visiting the conscious shape of Almighty, the real shape of Almighty. The real shape of Almighty is not in the physical dimension. He is a conscious being, just like a soul. soul has no physical shape. The body has the physical shape, but the soul is not body. Soul is something, one entity which is inside the body. Similarly, in this creation, there is a supreme consciousness. That supreme consciousness is Almighty. And we need to reach to that level of refinement in our perception where we go beyond physicality and start perceiving what we call is consciousness. So we should be opening up the eyes of consciousness inside through the technique of Vihangam Yoga. And that's what makes Vihangam Yoga very special. Vihangam Yoga is not the abstract journey of spirituality, but Vihangam Yoga is that systematic journey of spirituality, where you scientifically understand how my consciousness is caught in the physical world, how it is flowing outward, and how I can make it turn inward. And why would I make it turn inward? Because the door through which the consciousness has to exit from the body is the 10th door, which is inward. Only when you take your consciousness inside, then that door will open from inside. And that door is called the 10th door. Only when we open the 10th door, it is only then our soul, our consciousness is set free from the body and indriya and mind, and then it attains the ability to experience the other consciousness. This whole process is what we attain through the 5 stages journey of Vihangam Yoga. So everything is systematic, not only our day-to-day activity that we see in the nature, the sun rising, the sun setting down, the earth moving, the tree growing, the baby growing into adulthood to old age. Everything is bound to a process. There is no randomness anywhere. Then how can a spiritual journey be random? It cannot be. And that's why it is said that the process through which Almighty is realized is called Chetan Yoga. Chetan Yoga. It's not a physical yoga, it's a Chetan yoga, where the soul and the Almighty unite with each other. Our Swamiji says that today there are different kinds of yoga that is prevalent in the world. But in reality, there is only one true yoga in which the soul unites with Almighty. That is what is the real yoga. Everything else is just the different variants of, the human mind inventions. Humans have invented different other yoga, but those yoga is way different than what the true yoga is. योग योग सब कोई कहे योग न जाना कोई अर्धधार ऊर्ध्व चले योग कहा वे सोई. In the real journey of yoga, there is only one thing that happens. The consciousness of the soul, which is caught in the physicality, it is isolated from physicality and is connected to the Supreme Almighty. That is what is achieved in the real journey of yoga. There is absolutely no other yoga. And that very journey is called Vihangam Yoga. Thank you. If there is any other comment, any other questions, we have 5 minutes before we conclude. Great. So we are very fortunate that we are taking systematic step towards our spiritual journey. What is the systematic step? We know ourselves, how we behave in this physical world. We should read our character every day. Every day we should make a notice. Am I changing from inside? Am I becoming more righteous in my action? That is the very first step we need to take. Pay attention to our own character. What character have we become? We start bringing transformation at that level. It is only when we become very righteous in our action, our path of inward journey will also get smoother with we being righteous. So when we start becoming righteous in our thought, in our action, in our behavior, when we start becoming very truthful, then slowly our desire will change. We move away from physical gratification. We move away from physical subjects and start developing love, affinity, inclination with the spiritual activity. And that is a big sign of blessings, the grace of Almighty. Only when the Almighty graces us, blesses us, then this very change happen in our character. That automatically we will start getting inclined towards spirituality. And then Sadguru will come in our life. That is also another gift of Almighty. It is only the ultimate gift of Almighty that the Sadguru comes in our life. And then Sadguru teaches us that systematic process. So far, maybe we have been leading a random journey of spirituality. But when Sadguru comes in our life, then he brings a systematic process. Swamiji says in Svarved that the ghee, the butter is hidden in the milk, but does the ghee appear out of milk by any random process? No, it does not. Similarly, the red color is hidden in the leaf of, there is something called mehendi, but does that color come automatically from that leaf, or there is a process? For everything, there is a process. And similarly, for making a systematic journey from bondage to liberation, there is a process. And Sadguru is the first link or the first step towards entering into that systematic process. So next week, we are going to understand what is Sadguru, who is true Sadguru, how is Sadguru, coming into the human shape for us. Everything about Sadguru will begin next week onwards. Thank you so much. With this, we conclude the session today. We'll meet again next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. Thank you all. Jai Sadgurudev.